What the hell is going on at Manchester City and why is it going so wrong?
Bro, it's beautiful to watch. I'm happy about this. Like, like I can't listen. I can't stand Pep is getting slapped up in his head, scratches on his head. Oh, it's beautiful. Listen, I know we hate him, and but Ten Hag got sacked for less. I can't even lie.
Bro, Ten Hag
Listen,
got sacked for less. Bro, Ollie got sacked for less.
for less.
Listen,
Listen.
listen,
I
listen.
wait. Listen,
Bro,
Pep.
even Gary O'Neill got slapped for less for
Yeah, yeah,
Wolves, bro.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm saying, like, listen, as far as I'm concerned, no manager should be immune from the sacking, especially in this
Mm.
form. Like, I'm sorry that Luka Kuracha, Bradley should have been handed his P45 ages ago, bro. Like this is criminal, bro. This is why I don't like some Arsenal fans because they are still saying to challenge
No.
is good enough. And the reason why I say that is bull
Hmm.
is because you're not going up against Manchester City. You're not, one, obviously, all the logical things that we said, and two, because they're absolute scumbags and they don't deserve to win the Premier League. And I don't ever want to see them winning the Premier League again. But you have to say that they can sustain it and push Liverpool all the way. Talk about breakfast and people tell me cereal, bro, on Christmas Day. I'm like,
Yeah, that's bad. You
I'm
might as well
like,
not have
bro, are
anything.
you serious, bro? You think up big Christmas Day, big when Jesus was born, and you think I'm eating cornflakes, blood? Are you crazy? You must be mad. No.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, another edition of Nights of Roundtable Discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guy ST in the building. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Just getting ready for Christmas, wrapping up, spending time with the family, just relaxing and having a good break as well. Yourself?
It's countdown to Christmas, bro. Like, obviously, for us as adults now, it's just like, yeah, it's Christmas and that. But
Hmm.
obviously, it's mainly for the kids, bro. I just can't wait for the food, bruv.
Oh, I'm with you.
I can't wait for the food, bruv. Bro, breakfast, bro. Breakfast alone has my mouth watering, bro. I can't.
Oh yeah. What you don't have the real Caribbean
You
breakfast?
know this already, bro. So
Oh.
man's gonna have the fried fish, the the
Hmm.
the, the little bit of curry, the curry mutton, the
Hmm.
breadfruit, ackee
Hmm.
and saltfish,
Hey, listen,
what's it name? Bammy, little bit of dumpling as well.
that sounds
Bruv, the
delicious.
plantain, like the only
Plantain.
no blood plantain, bruv. Plantain,
Plantain.
plantain. Listen, the
Plantain.
blood.
Plantain.
Listen, oh,
No, no,
bro,
no, no.
bro, you affs, bruv. Like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? It's plantain, plantain,
It's plantain.
bruv.
Plantain.
Listen, we're not
When
getting
you
into
come to
this,
my
but
house, when you come to my house and you eat the jollof, it's plantain. If you
bruv,
say
it's
plantain,
plantain, plantain. That's what I'm gonna say.
you see
Some
my mom, my
obviously
mom will
plantain.
look at me, my mom will look at you, bro.
Oh shit, bro. But yeah, and then, bro,
No, big up, man.
dinner, rice and peas, the fried
That's nice,
chicken,
man.
lamb, bro, some more mutton, macaroni and cheese.
Bro, stop. You're making me hungry, man.
Bro,
I was
listen,
gonna
listen,
say,
bro. Did you see? I wasn't even looking at you. I was looking into your abyss, bro. Just counting down, bro. I
bro,
can't
even
wait.
like us, we got the jollof, the
Oh,
potatoes. I know some stew, gravy, Brussels. Yeah, you see, bro. I know,
bro,
bro.
but this is it, bro. Bro, this is why, yeah. Certain times when I have conversations with people and I hear their menus, blood, I'm just like, I'm happy I have the family that I have, bro, because
it's true.
I
It's
can't
true.
be eat, bro. Like when I hear people talk about breakfast and people tell me cereal, bro, on Christmas Day, I'm like,
Yeah, that's bad. You
I'm
might as well
like,
not have
bro, are
anything.
you serious, bro? You think up big Christmas Day, big when Jesus was born, and you think I'm eating cornflakes, blood? Are you crazy? You must be mad. No,
That prison
star,
food, yeah.
listen. But bro, need all of that, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Big Christmas Day, and you're telling him, big man must eat cereal, bro. Bro, Frosties and all that, Cheerios. Bro, nah, bro, I have it's the full spread, bro. That's why I say big up to Mumsy and all the family and all that.
Big up, Mumsy.
And then obviously go to Granny's for second dinner, bro. You get me?
All right,
Collect
bro,
the food
listen.
as well, bro.
I
Anyway,
hear.
bro, listen.
Yeah,
Making myself hungry and that. But people, listen, I hope you're gonna, obviously, if you celebrate, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy the time with the fam. Obviously, for the religious people, obviously, me being one, obviously, it's to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, even though technically speaking, it's not actually his birthday, but we're not going to get into that politics. That's what it's here for. But obviously, for other people, it's all about family, bringing them together, having a good time over the festive season. So I hope you lot enjoy. If you don't celebrate, just enjoy spending time with the fam. You know what I mean? See some people, enjoy the time off. Obviously, all the office lot off for the next 2 weeks and that. Some of us still be working over this time. Get me? But it is what it is. But as it is the festive season, people, this is our festive special. Footie Chat is back with a vengeance. It's not United Talk. I know you see it's STNI, but this is not United
Thank
Talk.
God.
This is, listen, thank God is an understatement.
Yeah.
After the elation, bruv, it's what a different 7 days, mate.
Let's not talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. We promise.
Yeah.
We
All right,
promise.
we're gonna forget that. We're gonna forget that. Even though I am in half a good mood because Juve won last night. But so we're going to be assessing the Premier League and how it is right now. We're going to be talking about the top teams and how they're getting on. Obviously, we're getting to the halfway period of the season. Games are going to be coming thick and fast. So we're going to be talking all things Premier League and all things football. But as usual, before we start, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. When I say all the time, share. We are here, the only channel where you get different variety of sports, great content, great banter, and all that good stuff. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. As ST and I just said, we ain't talking nothing about Man United because we ain't got time to be doing all this self-harm and all that nonsense. So they're going to be put on the back burner for now. But ST, when we look at, because we haven't had a footy chat in a while. Oh yeah, and as a FYI, people, before we get anything about, oh, it's just you and ST again, we have invited, listen, I think right now, ST, I think we have to send the SOS to the Arsenal fans, the likes of the Truth, Mr. KAJ, like, bro, we can't see them. Bear in mind, it's one of them ones where if Arsenal actually end up winning one of the big two trophies, they will be back. But
they will.
Bro, I think it's been a year and a half since we saw any of them, man, bro. Like it's actually becoming quite concerning that these Arsenal fans can't appear. But we did invite them. We did also invite two, but he's tied up at the moment. Pun intended. So so there's no him either. And we did invite, I know he only comes every so often, but we did invite Cooking with Rash, but unfortunately, he isn't here either. So, and he's the one that complains, saying, "You don't talk about Chelsea." Well, guess what? Because you're not here, we're not going to talk about Chelsea. Because I couldn't think of anything. Because I couldn't think of anything worse as they're flying. If they were in the mud, I'd happily talk about them, but they're not. So
I can't lie, bro.
They'll get a brief mention. They'll get a brief mention, but we're
not lie, bro. I'd rather them win the league than Liverpool and Arsenal. I know you looking at me as I'm a devil. I hate it, but I can't have Arsenal.
No, I can't have them winning. Oh, listen, in terms of Liverpool, to stop Liverpool winning the league, I need Arsenal to, because obviously that's our biggest rival. But the one team that I could have one scenario where Liverpool could win it and I can't be upset is if they beat Chelsea to it. That's just my pure hatred for Chelsea. So, but anyone else, I'll take them winning it over Liverpool, bro. Because
Arsenal, I know.
See, I get the whole Arsenal thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I get it, bro. I love watching them in the mud because their fans are diabolical, bruv. Like, I cannot stand their fans, and they just chat so much shit. And they're so deluded and delusional. It is beyond me. But I don't hate them that much compared to, listen, my hatred is Chelsea, Liverpool, City, then Arsenal. You get me? Even though I think but the problem with City is because they ain't got no fans. When they win it,
exactly.
I don't have to hear it. So therefore, when they beat Arsenal to it, I wasn't too upset because I was just like, they got no fans. So obviously, I was upset because they did the 4 in a row, which trumps our 3 in a row. But they ain't got no fans, so it's like, yeah, they did it. No one cares. No one cares, and obviously, we'll get into what they're into right now. But yeah, ST, when we look at the Premier League table, let's start off with obviously the league leaders, which are Liverpool. Top at Christmas, which is a good omen for them. 39 points, 4 points clear of Chelsea, I think 6 clear of Arsenal with a game in hand. 12 wins in the league, 3 draws, only 1 lost, 21 games unbeaten in all competitions. The only time they've lost this season was to Nottingham Forest at home in September. 100% record in the Champions League, obviously through into the League Cup semi-final where they will play, is it Tottenham? Yeah, they'll play Tottenham. Obviously, just coming off Sunday, coming off beating Tottenham 6-3. So that's another positive for them. Bro, they are flying right now. ST, from your perspective, like, I think when we spoke at the beginning of the season, I think that you and I had Liverpool finishing in the top 4. But I don't think anyone expected it to be this good with this manager. Now, don't get me wrong. Everyone expected to drop off because of the fantastic job that Jurgen Klopp did with them and the amount of years that he did. And everyone was like, when you have somebody like that at the club and then you bring someone new, there's going to be a drop off. But Arne Slot has literally taken the baton and charged it 110%, is now flying with Liverpool. And don't get me wrong, the players that they have, experienced, some world-class players, some very good players. So Klopp didn't leave him in a bad place in terms of the players that he had at his disposal. I think you could argue the way how Klopp left this Liverpool team to Arne Slot, he left them with a better team than what Fergie left David Moyes with back in 2013. So it's not like Slot was in a bad position, but still he's exceeding expectations. Just tell us, ST, like, from your perspective, how impressed have you been with Arne Slot and what this Liverpool team have done so far this season?
I mean, I think everybody's impressed with them. I think what's happened is that Arne Slot, in a way, has and I think also I have to commend the recruitment in terms of managerial recruitment of Liverpool as well. They've done very well. They didn't want anybody that was too different to Klopp. So I think I see a lot of similarities in the way Arne Slot plays with this team, with what Klopp's done. So it's a bit easier to like deal with the players that he currently has. He's got Gravenberch really playing, but I think didn't he used to manage with Gravenberch, or I'm not sure. Or I know he knows
Feyenoord. I can't remember. Was it? Well, no, Gravenberch was PSV. No.
Yeah, it might have been. Well, but he might have known. Well,
no, Gravenberch was Ajax. Gravenberch was Ajax. He was at Ajax.
Yes.
He was part of the Ten Hag.
Yes. Okay. So he obviously knew how he must have seen loads of Gravenberch as well. But if you watch Feyenoord's football at the time is actually a little bit similar to the way Liverpool was playing. So it was a very good appointment. Sorry. I think players have stepped up. I think the way he's used Salah is perfect. And I'm going to explain to you why. Salah, as he's got older, still in really decent shape, takes care of himself, but he's not getting him to track back as much. And getting, like, for example, the introduction of Gravenberch, who's like a box to box, but kind of screens the play very well, kind of goes across to help the defense when needed. So it allows Salah to have that little bit of freedom to stay up top. And it's also helped his game. I also think that the players are happier. I think that as well, substitutions are good, and Liverpool in general have a lot of firepower, man. A lot of fire. You got Salah scores goals. You got Jota scores goals. You got all these guys that are scoring goals, and you got Trent doing what Trent does in the terms of his crossing ability. You've got I do think Robertson's a bit of a weak link at the moment, but hey,
He is.
but
Yeah.
at the same yeah, and the defense, but at the same time, Liverpool have killers, and you know what it is? I'm gonna say something very controversial. I don't think Liverpool's midfield is all that, if you understand what I mean.
It's not.
It's however, and we were talking about balance with other teams. Liverpool have got the balance spot on. You've got McAllister, who receives the ball very good in the half turn. Obviously, he made a mistake, but
Yeah.
it happens. You've got Szoboszlai, who can be the box-to-box midfielder in there, and you've got Gravenberch, who's a very good screener, but can also do the box-to-box. So
Mm.
the balance of the midfield for Liverpool in that midfield is very good. And then you got McAllister that can pick up the passes as well. So when you have that, it's so easy for the strikers up front. So your Salahs, your Jotas when he plays, your
Luis
Gakpos, you've
Diaz,
got
Gakpo, yeah.
Luis Diaz,
The
those guys.
Uruguayan and there.
Yeah, even him. So they've just got it spot on, and there's a winning culture there, a
It is
winning
because
culture.
they know how to win things. Obviously, last season it was the League Cup that they won. Obviously, it was only the League Cup that they won.
Yeah,
But the season before that, did they do the no? The season before that,
it
they
was
did the
the
FA Cup and League Cup
FA Cup
double,
and
innit?
League Cup as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they not, and obviously the Champions
Mhm.
League finals that they've been to. So I think from that perspective, obviously Liverpool. That's why I said Liverpool got the experience. They've got a couple of young players as well, the Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott's of this world.
Oh,
Um,
Curtis Jones has been fantastic this year.
yeah,
I give
he's
him
been
kudos
really
as
good.
well.
I,
Yeah.
I, I completely agree with you in terms of their midfield. I think their midfield can be got at because obviously they haven't got that holding midfielder, but he's made it work with how
Mhm.
he's used Gravenberch. I think when we look at Liverpool, obviously the key, obviously, to what anyone says is the spine of that team. Obviously, Allison's been injured a bit, but he's still top goalkeeper. Kelleher is a fantastic
Oh,
understudy.
he's a good.
I mean, when we
He's a
see
good. He's a good
understudies, we've
keeper.
seen understudies. If you just look at Spurs and United's understudies, you know understudies can be awful. Then you've obviously got Virgil Van Dijk resurgence. He looks like the Van Dijk that everyone was saying was the best centre back in the world. He looks like he's gotten back to that sort of form. Then obviously you've got Trent back to his best going forward. And it looks like Slot has done a lot of work with him defensively because
Yeah, I was gonna say.
it's no longer the Trent that can't defend his gal anymore, bruv. It's the Trent that can, man then will come and try and take his gal and they'll be like, nah, what are you doing, fam? Like you can't be
Mhm,
trying to take man's gal and
mhm.
that. Obviously a couple of men will still box him in his face and take her anyway, but he's got, it's not just any man now. It's not any man that's
He's
going
saying
up to him.
something. He's
He's,
saying
he's,
something.
he's doing something. And obviously, Salah, um, who is, listen, firing on all cylinders, um, playing very well, scoring goals. I think he's now the top scorer in the Premier League. So the fact that he's got all those players on board in the spine of their team, the experienced players are all seem to be at their best, has worked massively in his favor. And that's why it coincides with the fact that, as I said, they only lost once all season, 100% record in the Champions League. I think they're the second joint top goal scorers in the Premier League. I think the only team that scored more than them is
Tottenham.
Spurs, yeah. And then
Yeah.
obviously they've got the joint least amount of goals conceded with Arsenal. So when
Mhm.
you put all that together, it has the makings of a team that look like they're going to be doing something very serious this season, which pains me to say as a Manchester United fan. But they seem to have getting it right so far. Obviously, as I said, we're only at the halfway stage. So many things can change this season. But ST, when we look at it now, right? As I said, they're 4 points clear of Chelsea with a game in hand, 6 points clear of Arsenal with a game in hand. I know Forest are fourth, but we wouldn't necessarily say they're going to be challenging. So you would think it's a three-horse race between these three. Are Liverpool now unstoppable? Is it Liverpool that have now said we are going to win the Premier League?
I mean, I don't think Liverpool fans will be thinking that way, but they have a very good chance. And I think they can go all the way because they have experience of winning it. And they've been in these title runs for a long time as well. I think if they do keep their players fit and keep the vibes as well, because I do think, remember, Liverpool, even though when they lost to Man City in those leagues, they were very close to Man City. They went on the runs. They knew how to handle that sort of pressure. To be fair, so I think they're doing very. I think Liverpool are really strong favourites, and personally, that would be my pick now. I don't see Liverpool losing that many games, to be honest, towards the end of the season. I mean, it's still possible, but I think that because they have so many experienced players who've done this before and who've won things as well, whether it's minor cups, FA Cups, and stuff like that, they've won a Champions League in that era. They've won a Premier League. They've won, they've kept up with the best team for the past like 5 years and stuff like that. So I think that Liverpool are very strong enough to win this league, if I'm being honest. And I don't see anybody stopping them now.
No, I hear you, and I think I would have to say I concur with that. As I said, it's still a long way to go. There are going to be ups and downs, but I think what you said is true. The fact that they went toe to toe with City for about three seasons straight, and then I think no 4 seasons straight, and 1 out of 4 they won the title. So having that experience works in their favor. The players that they have works in their favor. I think the only thing that you could possibly say that could hinder things, and that's for anybody, is injuries.
Mhm.
Losing Van Dijk or Salah would be a massive blow to Liverpool and their chances. And also, I think the inexperience of the manager in terms of managing the amount of games that they're going to
Mm.
have, because obviously we understand that obviously he's done the league and obviously the cup, and obviously I can't remember if it's the Europa or Champions League that they were in, so you know how to balance that, but you've got a league, you've got an FA Cup to contend with as well, and all these games come thick and fast, so you're not getting the 2 week break that you would get in other leagues. I think they get a week off in January, but I think that's about it. So it's the inexperienced manager in terms of managing the players and having so many games to contend with. So it will be interesting, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be very difficult to stop this Liverpool team from winning the league, especially when they don't lose. They don't seem to
No,
want to lose, and they don't lose very often. But if there is going to be a challenger for them, we have to look at the 2 teams that are directly below them, and the first one being Chelsea. Chelsea side, obviously, as I said, they're 4 points off of Liverpool, but Liverpool have that game in hand. 2 points above Arsenal at this moment in time. As I said, they are joint second top scorers with Liverpool. Obviously, Spurs only scoring more. 35 points, obviously 10. I think 10 wins, 5 draws, 2 losses in the league. I think they're unbeaten in 12 in all competitions. For the last loss, if don't get me wrong, was to Newcastle in the League Cup after they beat them in the league, and I don't think they've lost in the league since the loss to
no, they haven't.
Liverpool. Since the loss to Liverpool, so they're on a fantastic run, and plus the Conference League with their B team, they've won every single game, so they are in fantastic form right now themselves. Obviously, I know the draw against Everton, but away at Goodison Park in those conditions
It's not easy.
is difficult for anybody. So when we take that into consideration, we also have to praise what a job Maresca has done, because
Mhm.
he's another new manager that has come into Chelsea Football Club. Um, had a rocky start at the start of the season, obviously having to manage the amount of the NFL team that he had with 47 players that he had at Chelsea. Obviously losing the opening game to City, and then I think after that, I think there were a couple draws after that. Um, and just managing the expectations. I know he had the experience of managing Leicester, so he had the experience of managing in England, but that was in the Championship. So to transition to Chelsea, where there is a lot of pressure, especially from Chelsea fans, because they're fucking spoiled, right, and think they should have everything when they're a little. Anyway, let's not let personal things go. But yeah, and obviously the conveyor belt of managers that Chelsea have. But you have to respect what he's done, and he's done a very, very good, He started off very, very well at Chelsea so far. Obviously, the only blip being getting dumped out of the League Cup, but besides that, he's started very well. What do you think about Chelsea and how Maresca has done, especially and coming off the fact that obviously Poch being sacked after people said he did a decent job, so that pressure as well. How do you think Maresca's done in, so far, Steve?
Oh, he's done really well. Listen, it's a good and a bad thing because he was under Pep for a little bit,
Yeah.
wasn't he? I've known him for Sevilla. He was one of our better players in Sevilla.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah, you don't remember it. I remember him very well. He was like a utility centre midfielder, but he'd always run into the box and score goals. Very good player. So I knew him from there. I didn't think he'd become a manager, but big him up. He's got them playing, and they play some good football. To be fair, Chelsea's squad is stacked.
Bruv, as we said, NFL team, but I think they've got 3 players for each position.
And they're all quality. I am jealous. You've got Felix, Nkuku, Palmer, Madueke, Sancho. That's mad.
The Sancho thing still burns me to this day, bro.
Bro, I'm vexed. Bro, because I knew
because him in our system right now, yeah, in one of them 10 positions, him on one side, Ahmad on the other, we be cooking, bro.
We're not talking about Man United.
Yeah, we're not.
It's okay, but what I'm trying to say is that they play such good football. It's a shame. See, Rash is not here for me to even big up Chelsea. Anyway, they play such good football. I do think their midfield and their forward line's fantastic, but
yeah, defensively,
and their goalkeeper, I don't rate their goalkeeper.
Yeah, Sanchez, he's dead food, bro.
Yeah,
he's dead food.
That's the reason why I do think Chelsea will continue to win matches because of the football they're playing and the style of play, and I think that all their players are buying into, even the defenders at times. Like, I think where Chelsea will fall down, their centre backs are a problem.
Yeah.
Personally, their goalkeeper is a problem.
And me personally, I don't have. Listen, don't get me wrong. He's done well this season, and he took a lot of criticism last season. Action Jackson took a lot of criticism, and he's been scoring goals. But we've seen that, bro. He's still missing chances, and big chances of that. And I think that's the other reason why I can't see them winning the league, is because the centre backs and the goalkeeper, the centre backs too inexperienced. They are decent. I like Colwell. I like the look of him. The goalkeeper, I just don't think is good enough for them. And Action Jackson, I just don't think when you need. As I said, he's done well this season, and I don't want to knock him because he's done well. But I think when you want to go to that level of
you need someone better
of trying to win titles, Liverpool have got Jota, and Liverpool have got Jota in that middle role. City had Haaland, right? And I think, but with Chelsea, Action Jackson can be decent, but I don't think he'll get you the goals to go and win a title. I think the Conference League is a given for them. I think they could also still do something in the FA Cup. But I think in terms of the Premier League, I think that is where they will fall short. They could prove us wrong because Palmer could lead them to it, because that kid is something special.
I like that kid,
that left foot is a wand.
But what I will say, bro, coming back to your action to Jackson, I think Jackson's a better. And the issue is, they have so many players in the position that I think is perfect for him is out wide on the right
Mm.
or left hand side, and I think he'll do very well there. But as you said, you need like a striker, like a number 9 or someone to hold up the ball for him to be for Chelsea to go to the next level. And as for
But
Palmer,
yeah,
I was gonna say as for Palmer, listen, that kid is a very very special player.
mm.
I don't know. I don't know why Man City let him go. Their loss. But what I will say is,
Pep got it wrong.
Pep got it wrong. But what I will say is, Palmer in the big games can't play in the in the center. I think he does struggle there. It's crazy to say. It's just that there's a lot of pressure at him being in the midfield. I think you need someone else, and that's also why I think um, Chelsea won't win the league. You need to play. Don't get me wrong, Palmer is 100% could be a very good 10. He's got that ability to be a 10, but I think when you're at the top at this moment in time, maybe in the future, I think now play him in the 10 sometimes, but I guess in the bigger games, I'd put him out wide personally. But
I,
that's the
I,
reason why Chelsea feel.
I don't think so. I hear what you're saying because, and I think it's something that the truth said in the group chat, which is we will judge Palmer on his second season to see when he's getting double up and when people are targeting, which I completely understand. But I think the only place for him in this Chelsea team is in the 10. I think if you stick him back out wide, I think you lose what he can do and what he can create. But I completely understand in the 10, he's still got to learn a lot. I mean, he's only young. What is he, 20, 21? Something like that.
20 years, yeah.
So he's still got a lot to learn. But I think in the 10 is the position he needs to play in with his technical ability, the way how he passes the ball, the way how he reads the game, and the fact that we know that he can score goals. Obviously, I know a lot of them are penalties, but he can score goals from open play as well. I think I hear what you're saying, but I think putting him back out wide, I think you're asking him to do work that you don't necessarily want him to do going backwards. But also, I think you lose something. I think in that 10, you give him that license to roam, so he can drift out to the right and cut inside, can stay in the middle and try and play them passes in, and he can even drift out onto the left, cross the ball in. I think having him in the 10 and giving that freedom is perfect for him. But I completely understand what you're saying. At the same time, I think the upside for Chelsea, if they are going to challenge, I know we said about Action Jackson, is what you said, the squad. So if he's not doing it, oh yeah, I'll just bring in Cuckoo. I'll just bring in Jao Felix. I'll just obviously you got Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo.
I forgot even Neto. I didn't even
Midfield.
say
Oh
Neto
yeah,
as
and
well.
Pedro Neto as well. So
Bloody
they've
hell.
got options, and I think that will hold them in good stead because I think the reason why I can see them not necessarily winning the league but challenging a lot longer is because in the Conference League they can play their B/C team and still win it. So their sole focus is now for their first team players is FA Cup and Premier League. So they can sustain and keep going to the end to push Liverpool. I won't say they're necessarily winning it for two reasons. One, obviously, all the logical things that we said, and two, because they're absolute scumbags and they don't deserve to win the Premier League. And I don't ever want to see them winning the Premier League again. But you have to say that they can sustain it and push Liverpool all the way. And we will see what happens with Chelsea. But let's move on to the third team that we will say in the title race, and that is Arsenal. Obviously, third in the league, 2 points off of Chelsea, 6 points off Liverpool with the game in hand, 9 wins, 6 draws, 2 losses. Unbeaten in the last 10 in all competitions. I think their last loss in all competitions was to Inter in the Champions League. And I think that unbeaten, 6 or 7 unbeaten in the league. The last loss was to Newcastle away. So even them, they're in good spirits. They're in good form. Obviously, coming off was it 5-1 on the weekend against Palace, and then obviously beating them in the League Cup to go through to the semi-final where they play Newcastle. This is Mikel's 5th season in charge now. It's a now or never moment for him. I think that it's been long enough now. You've got your players in. You've got your feet firmly under the table. You've established what your role is at this football club. You went to the last day last season. Season before that, you fell short by a month or so. You rectified it this season. They have to, and this is why I don't like some Arsenal fans, because they are still saying to challenge is good enough. And the reason why I say that is bull is because you're not going up against Manchester City. You're not. You are now going up against, don't get me wrong, a very experienced Liverpool side who has experience of winning the title, has got world-class players, but they've got a manager that's only been here 6 months. You're going up against a Chelsea side that, yes, has got an NFL team, has got 47 players on their books and can chop and change and rotate all the time. But they've got an inexperienced back line. Haven't got that 20 goal a season centre forward. And they've got a new manager that has managed in the Championship, got Leicester promoted, but is still learning his trade. Mikel has been here this is going to be his 5th season. It's a no excuses season for Arsenal.
Agreed.
Right? And you can't, and I understand that certain fans will try and say, well, you've got a new manager and you lot aren't doing anything. But for me, you can't have 2 new managers come in their first season and beat you to the league. Now, I know you can roll back the years and say, well, when Conte first came in, he won the league with Chelsea first season. When Ancelotti first came in, he won the league with Chelsea. But the difference between those two and the rest was they were experienced managers that had a culture of winning. Ancelotti at AC Milan and Juve, Conte with Juve as well. So, but these, yes, you can't count the Dutch league and winning the Championship as a manager that's experienced with winning, bruv. I'm sorry, you can't. So it is a now or never season for them. ST, can they do it? Can they go on that run and win the league this season?
No. No. No, I'm being real. Like, their chance, if I'm being honest, was last year. Arsenal were the best team in the league last year and somehow managed to mess it up. It was against Fulham and it was against Aston Villa. And now this season, yes, they have 2 managers that are not experienced, and you have no excuses. Even though I do think Arsenal's recruitment hasn't been great, but I think that's partly to do with Mikel, and that's partly to do with Edu, who's now gone as well. Your recruitment has let you down. You should have done the recruitment even before, like at January, because I remember I was talking, I was like, and I remember the truth saying, to be fair to him, he was saying, we are not serious, because you would have bought someone like a striker in to win that league, and you haven't done it. And now, I think Arsenal are a worse team now than they were before. And plus, Saka's injured.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. And then you see, Odegaard hasn't played as well. They haven't had the luck of injuries like they had last year. They're quite inconsistent. I don't think even the defenders are still decent. I don't think the defenders have been as rock solid as they were last season. It's very hard to do it. What happened last season? Don't get me wrong, they're still doing pretty well, but it's not like the others. They're changing the left and right. The left back and all these things. Martinelli and all these other players haven't been on form. It's not the same Arsenal team. Their players are a bit older. And also, they just don't have the experience. And you know how we said about Chelsea not having the experience? Even though Arsenal have been in the title run like for the last year, or also a year or two, they in terms of all the other cups, they haven't really won anything. And when it comes,
the last thing they won was under Mikel in his in obviously his first half of the season.
Yeah. So there's I do think Arsenal will still do well. They'll still pick up a lot of wins. They're gonna beat a lot of teams, but there are still things that need to be addressed, and I don't think Arsenal will win the league at all this year. I don't know if they will win anything, but not the league.
Well, this is it, and I think that obviously, look, at the end of the day, as I said, they're still in the title race. Got a good position in the Champions League, um, in the League Cup semi-final. So they're still in everything. Let's not get it twisted. And they still have a chance. They still have a chance. But I agree with you. I think that last season was better for them because it was just them and City, because they had the luck of the injuries. They hardly had anyone injured last season, and they couldn't get over the line. This season is different. They're not competing with the juggernaut that which is Man City, where if you're not at least 5 points ahead of them going into the second half of the season, you're getting hunted down and it's practically over. Obviously, the experience of the 2 years ago where they had a 25-point lead, so they were on top of the table for like 17 months and they threw it away. Obviously, then last season going all the way but not getting across the line. So it's difficult for them, very, very, very difficult for them. But one more year of maturity. Obviously, Gabriel and Saliba together always gives them a chance. Thomas Partey playing very well. Timber fully fit, playing very well. Got Gabriel Jesus scoring goals. And I think that's one of the issues that Arsenal fans are unhappy with. And as you said, the whole fact of signing the striker in the summer, they could have signed Gherkin, didn't decide to do that. Obviously, talks of Isak as well from Newcastle, couldn't do that. So and then when we look at January, we know hardly anything happens in the January transfer window. So you're looking at Arsenal going into the second half of the season with the attack that they've had. And when you look at that ST, with what you've said, Saka being injured, it's being said it's a hamstring injury. He could be out till the middle of Feb, right? With him being their top scorer in all competitions, second top scorer in terms of the Premier League. I think he's got the most assists, got 10 assists. What's it name? In the Champions League, he's got 4 goals and 4 assists. When you look at the over-reliance on Saka and how important he is, the fact that he never gets rested. I don't think he's missed back-to-back Premier League games since Mikel has joined Arsenal. The fact that he's going to be out for, we're looking at a month and a half. Bro, how much is that a problem for them? Because at this moment in time, I'm looking at it and I'm like, Martin Kelly, absolute garbage, can't do nothing. Trossard, too inconsistent. Kai Havertz, the tree up front, doesn't do enough. Gabriel Jesus, 1 minute he's scoring, next minute he's not. Another injury-prone person. They don't really get the goals from midfield. And as people are calling them, they're calling them Corn Arsenal. Stoke City of Woolwich is what they're being called in terms of only scoring from corners and not really creating that much from open play. Losing Saka is a massive blow to them, isn't it?
Bro, it's the biggest. And it's also going to affect someone like Odegaard because Saka and Odegaard have the
link up. They
link up very well. And even Saka was saying it the other day. He's like, I love playing with Odegaard because them two are on the same wavelength. I just don't like, for example, when Odegaard was out at the time, you can see Arsenal struggled. Saka struggled. Saka was scoring, but his performances wasn't as good as it was.
But they struggled because they weren't.
Yeah,
that's when they wanted to run of losing a couple of games and drawing quite a few games because they couldn't unlock defenses.
But now you got Odegaard as well. Odegaard's going to suffer as well because I think Saka's the one that makes the runs for. I mean, obviously, they did very well against Palace, but I need to see how Odegaard deals with the loss of Saka himself. I'm speaking primarily about Odegaard because them two are their creative sparks. And if one of them goes, they're going to be less attacking. I need to see how Odegaard deals with that.
And also, what you got to do, we need to see how Mikel's going to deal with it. Because
Yes.
as I said, the over-reliance on Saka hasn't missed back-to-back games in the Premier League. So it's going to be interesting to see how Mike L deals with that, because you also got the fact that Sterling's going to be out for a few weeks. I know he hasn't used him and he doesn't want to use him. I think the Sterling thing was just a club signing. It wasn't a Mike L signing, but it's another body that's injured. So now it's Martin Kelly, Trossard. Then you're looking at having probably just stick that talented Nyanweri out wide
good
as well. Huh?
He's good.
Yeah. So when you look at that, you're like, options are getting quite thin. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus can go out wide as well. But then you're looking at, that's two attacking players that are out for Arsenal, and it's looking a little bit thin. I think Mike L was asked a question about the January transfer window. Obviously, it's all coy and hush-hush, but we don't really know anybody to do business. So it could be a massive, massive problem into a critical time of the season, ST. If I just read you the potential games that Saka could be out for. So Ipswich away, Brentford away. No, Ipswich at home, sorry. Brentford away, Brighton away, Newcastle at home in the League Cup, United in the FA Cup, which doesn't matter. Spurs at home, Villa at home, Dynamo Zagreb at home, Wolves away, Girona away in the Champions League, City at home, and potentially Newcastle away in the League Cup. So when you look at it, you wouldn't say it's the most difficult run, but when you're saying that you're missing your most creative spark and your most relied person, plus they rely on that right-hand side so much in an attacking sense, you not having that in these sorts of games is going to be very, very difficult for you. You might get Arsenal fans that will say, listen, if we're going to lose him, we actually do want to lose him in this game, because Arsenal fans will probably tell you, out of all those games, they're probably the most difficult game is Newcastle away in that League Cup, because they never win there. But the fact that likes of City at home, they'll believe they can win that. Girona away, they'll believe they can win that. Wolves away, they believe they can win that. Villa at home, they'll believe, even though Villa beat them last season at home, they'll believe that they can win that. Spurs at home, they said it's a home banker, so they'll know they can win that. So when you look at it, they won't be too upset in terms of them fixtures, because there's no Liverpool and there's no Chelsea in that, and no big team in the Champions League. So they could say, you could look at it as one hand, Arsenal fans saying, well, it's a well-earned break for Saka, and he'll come back revitalized for the business end of the season. But on the other end, you can look at it and be like, well, without Saka, what are you really going to do? We're going to see what Mike L's really about. But ST's final question on Arsenal, if Mike L only wins the League Cup this season or wins nothing at all, do Arsenal have to sack him?
They have to get rid of him. And that means, this is me being honest. Last year, I allowed him about not sacking him, because, like, I know Arsenal didn't win the league, I know we were trolling them and everything, but that was tough. Arsenal won the most games, scored the most goals, conceded the less goals. That was just like, you know what? It's annoying, it's frustrating that you lot didn't win, but I get that. You're not playing well this year. You have no excuses. I'm sorry, like, it's now or never for them. Like, and it shows me that, and especially if one of the two managers that you said previously, that Liverpool and the Chelsea manager, wins before them, you've got to say, like,
I think
that's what's going to kill them.
For me.
Yeah,
I think that's for me the thing. And I think Arsenal fans could probably hide behind the fact that if Liverpool win the league, well, they're experienced. Look at the players that they've got; they're world class. They've been there and done it before, which is a legitimate argument. But God forbid, and touch wood that this never happens, but God forbid Chelsea go and win the league. That excuse is not there. And I don't want to hear the excuse of they've got 400 players, because I'm sorry, it's a manager that has never managed at this level with a very, very, very young team, with players that people were cussing and saying shouldn't even be playing at this level. If they went on to win the league, I'm sorry, he has to be sacked the day that happens. But even if it's Liverpool, I still think he has to go. And obviously, because Slot is a new manager, he's come in and literally won it. And I think also because Mikel is in his 5th season, and this is the season where he has to do it. Obviously, if he, by some miracle, went on to win the Champions League, then fair enough. But I personally believe if he comes out with a League Cup and that's it, or nothing at all, based on everything else and the fact that you're not going up against Pep and the juggernaut that is Manchester City, you gotta go. You gotta go, and someone else has to come in. It's no excuses for me this season, Arsenal. And I completely understand that people will try and say we've got no centre forward. That's on your board. That's on your board because you should have gotten one. It's no longer an excuse. No longer an excuse. It's now's the time to win. I know certain Arsenal fans that will say even the FA Cup isn't enough. But for you to only get the League Cup or nothing at all, nah, you have to be sacked, bro. I'm sorry. That's nowhere near good enough. But we'll see what happens with Arsenal, bro, and how they get on. ST finally, no, actually not finally. This is the penultimate bit, bro. We got to talk about the blue side of Manchester. I know the red side's having a torrid time, but bro, the blue side is just having just as bad a time. 7th in the league, bro. 4 points off top 4, 12 points off of Liverpool, and Liverpool still got that game in hand, so it could potentially be 13 to 15 points behind Liverpool. 1 win in their last 12 games is crazy. 22nd in the new Champions League format, 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, 5 points off the automatic qualification places, and I think there's only 2 games left. ST, my word, who could have predicted this fall from grace of Manchester City and Pep? So the question I pose to you is, what the hell is going on at Manchester City, and why is it going so wrong?
Bro, it's beautiful to watch. I'm happy about this. Like I can't listen. I can't stand Pep is getting slapped up in his head, scratches on his head. Oh, it's beautiful. Listen, I know we hate him, and but Ten Hag got sacked for less. I can't even lie.
Bro, Ten Hag got sacked for less. Bro, Ollie got sacked for less.
For less.
Listen.
Wait. Listen,
bro.
Pep,
Even Gary O'Neill got slapped for less for Wolves, bro. So I'm saying, like, listen, as far as I'm concerned, no manager should be immune from the sacking, especially in this form. Like, I'm sorry, that Luka Kuracha, Bob Bradley should have been handed his P45 ages ago, bro. Like, this is criminal, bro. And obviously, I'm not even talking about the court case. I'm talking about what's going on the football field right now. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, you got the albino Lukaku doing nothing, bro. Kevin De Bruyne. People telling me that this guy is the greatest Premier League centre midfielder of all time. Are you all right, bruv? Are you all right? Phil Foden doing nothing. Bro, Doku, aka Elephant Man, bruv, doing Ponder River, Ponder Bank on the left-hand side, bro, like with his dead football. Bro, listen, that back four conceding goals like nothing. Bro, it is crazy right now at Manchester City, and I am enjoying it because obviously we're in so much pain. But in all honesty, banter aside, bro, what is going on, bro?
Listen, Pep is running from the grind. That's what is happening. I'll be honest, yeah. Man City, first of all, have not recruited well at all. So since Morris is gone, no, they got Savinho. Savinho is nowhere near Morris.
Losing Julian Alvarez was massive.
That was bad. I was gonna say.
But we know why that was, bro, because they need all the money they can get right now. They need the bail money, bro. They need the bail money.
It's true. Listen, you know what? We both said this about Haaland. You see how many people were remember, bro? They were insulting us.
Criticize, bro. We were getting lynched for what we were saying about this guy, and it wasn't even terrible because we weren't saying this guy was crap.
Yeah.
Like it was honest and constructive criticism about him, saying that he is a goal scorer. He's a fantastic goal scorer. He's one of the best. But bro, in this era, you need to be more than that to survive.
Yeah, something to your
because
game, yeah.
if you're only scoring goals, and I know it sounds terrible when we think about it from our generation. What do you mean only scoring goals? It's the most difficult thing to do in football. We understand that. But in this era, you need to be more than that. You have to be able to either get in behind and terrorize defenses, which he can do, but you also have to be able to link play, bro. You have to be able to hold the ball and link play. And his touch isn't great. His football IQ isn't great. Him in the box has got the best IQ, but when he steps out of that squared circle, bro,
he doesn't know what to do.
He doesn't know what to do. And it doesn't make sense of saying that about centre forward because that is their job. We watched centre forwards, the Shevchenkos, the Vieira, the Christian Vieiras, all them, man, bro. But at the same time, it's like you got to do more than that in this era, bro. You've got to do more than that.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. Like you talk about all those strikers in the era. Those strikers had good technique. Whether you liked it or not, they had, even if they weren't some. I'll be honest, Haaland's in the box predatory instincts fantastic. Goal scoring in general fantastic. But even the strikers you mentioned in the eras that we grew up in, they were not only strikers. They had control.
Right, yeah, but Shevchenko
and
Vieira were.
No. Shevchenko had better technique than him. I'm telling you. Listen. But anyway, Haaland's not the only problem. To be fair to Haaland as well, even though he needs to do more, he's not getting service. Gundogan has fallen off a cliff.
Oh, bro,
and he was not
old,
great.
Bruv.
He's just old now. What else? Who else?
Bro, KDB can't stay fit. KDB can't stay fit. Phil Foden looks a shadow of what he was last season. Remember, he was playing the season last season. Obviously, we understand that Rodri is a humongous miss for them. Humongous. But you being Manchester City with the money that you have, you should be able to cope without him. Because we've watched Man City cope without Aguero. We've watched them cope without Vincent Kompany and Yaya Toure. And so you should be able to cope. Yes, there's always going to be an effect because he is the best at what he does. But you being Manchester City should be able to cope. However, ST, I think in the celebration of their demise, I think that we're masking over the fact that teams can have these drop-offs. This is a Manchester City that have won 4 Premier League titles on the bounce, won, I think, 2 League Cups. I think they did the treble. Then they did the treble with winning the FA Cup Champions League. Won the league last season when everyone expected that to be the drop-off coming off the treble. So I think it was inevitable that this was going to happen. And I think, as the truth would say, they're allowed this season to have this happen. I think the problem is that because Pep's never experienced it, and because the players that they have, people just expect Manchester City to be able to just keep going over and over and over again. And I think that's why the criticism, as much as we enjoy it, is a bit harsh, because they've got more money in the bank than anyone else to be able to have this drop-off. But at the same time, with the money that is spent, the way that people look at you in terms of how you got to this position, no one is going to be forgiven of this, and people are going to jump on it, and rightly so, because you coincide that with the 115 charges that are going on, which we should find out about in the new year, which we've discussed. Everyone is going to be on Manchester City's neck for this. But it's a case of, I think, and I said it in the group chat, Pep has never been in this position before, because whenever it's gone wrong for Pep, he's always moved on. So Barcelona, when he lost the league to Maureen, he moved on from Barcelona, obviously with the greatness that he achieved there. Bayern Munich, with the multiple Champions League failures, he decided to move on. Now he's in this position at Manchester City where they can't seem to get out of this rut. He's just signed a new 2-year deal. So this is where we will find out about Pep, because a lot of people, rightly so, has Pep as their goal as a manager. But I think this period, if Manchester City escape those charges, we will see what Pep is really on in terms of trying to rebuild a squad.
I was gonna say this.
We've seen him build
Yeah.
one with money being thrown at him, but let's see if you can rebuild. Let's see if you can do what Fergie did all of those years. Let's see if you can do what Carlo Ancelotti has been able to do. We're going to see if you can do that, because if you can, which, and I think more than likely we expect him to, then I think you put yourself out there as being one of one. But we want to see this. We want to see what you do when you can rebuild. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with the charges. We have an inclination of what is going to happen, but we don't know. So we will see. But with this right now, we're going to see if Pep is going to be able to rebuild Manchester City
as well.
Manchester
Like
City.
I said, the last thing I was going to say, again, Pep's going to have to coach now, because, again, as I said before, the recruitment for Manchester City has been bad. And even the charges that are going to happen now, one possibility that could happen is a transfer ban. If that happens, Man City will be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Because they need to replace the players that they originally had. And I think that could then affect Pep, and Pep's going to be forced to coach. Pep has had his luxuries and stuff like that. Now he doesn't have his luxuries. We'll see what Pep's made of. And on Grealish as well, he needs to go as well.
He needs to leave. He's not a Pep player. He never has been.
He's never has been. You can always criticize Grealish on his end product. I understand that. I get that. I completely understand. But if you're not paying him in the 10 and you're paying him constantly wide, you're not going to get the best out of him. And to be honest, with a player like Grealish, he's not a Pep sign. He needs to go. And that's another thing. So he's got players like Bernardo has fallen off a cliff. He's made Bernardo into such a workhorse.
Yeah.
That has taken his creativity and skill out. And I look at him, I'm like, you were never like this at Monaco. You were never this at the
bro.
Start
even in the beginning of his career at Manchester City, bro. Like like a season or two ago, we were talking about this guy being the first name on the team sheet for him.
Yeah,
that's how important that he was to Pep. So the drop off for him has been real. And I think the other massive drop off is the drop off for Kyle Walker, bro. Man, them are willing to race him now. And I said, I think Kyle Walker's learning something that I had to learn for myself playing football, is that when the pace goes, you've now got to change your game. You've got to understand the game more, read the game better, put yourself in better positions, because all this, oh yeah, I'll race you. Like, it's like, bro, what you were doing a season or two ago when no one wanted to race you, bro, man, them are up for it now, and there's not a lot you can do about it, because when father time comes. So your pace, it's not like, oh yeah, he's just become an absolute slowy, but it's like your pace has come down to where these guys can match you. So if they get the run on you, you can't recover, and it's a very, very difficult thing to come to terms with. Trust me, I know. And you have to adapt your game and try and make changes with that. So he's got to do that. We saw with Rio Ferdinand as well. When Rio lost that pace, bro, he wasn't the same player, and I don't think he ever adapted to it. And it's a massive thing. But all the levels of the Manchester City players have come down.
Also, their spine as well, as you said, with injuries. De Bruyne injured, Ruben Diaz injured, Rodri, Stones.
Yep.
Edison's in and out of the team. He was injured for a little bit. When your spine gets injured and you know your spine is getting old, unless the Manchester City spine is getting older now. So that's literally a lot of things, and they need to replace what. But if those charges happen and they get found guilty, and let's say a transfer ban or whatever happens, oh boy. Let me be honest. They're in big problems.
They're in problems. Obviously, we want more. You want them
Yeah.
kicked out of
Bring
the
them more
league and
problems.
South Manchester
Yeah,
Blues and all that. That's what we want,
yeah,
bro. I want to
yeah.
see
We want
Pep,
Sunday
Pep,
League.
Pep putting the cones that out and putting the nets up
Yep,
and that. That's what we really want.
yep,
But
yep,
in
yep.
terms of this, we'll see, bro. And then when you look at the next and I think the next fixtures is where they could come out this rut because their next fixtures, next 6 games are Everton at home, Leicester away,
Mm-hmm.
West Ham at home, Salford at home in the FA Cup, Brentford at home, Ipswich away. So I know that everyone's looking at it and being like, but oh my days, they can't just switch it on. But you would expect them to change form and turn things around and get stuff out of those games. And they kind of have to, because after that, after those games, they got I know it's not the same team, but they got PSG away, which they can win because PSG are on the same team. But then they got Chelsea at home, Club Brugge at home in the Champions League. Then they've got Arsenal away, Newcastle at home, Liverpool at home, Spurs away.
That's a
So
lot.
they kind of have to get the points from the next 6 games because their next 7, which are going to come in thick and fast, and then you can throw in the FA Cup game as well, whoever they get in the 4th round in there. It's going to be crunch time for them. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Manchester City if they can come out the rut. What Pep is going to do between now and the end of the season because they can still technically qualify for the Champions League next round. They're still in the FA Cup, so there's still 2 trophies up for grabs, and who knows, could be a massive turnaround if Liverpool were to drop off. Like I think people say don't write off Man City. I don't think you can keep them in the title race. I think they're out of it, but there's still things to play for this team for Manchester City. So we'll see what happens. ST finally, bro. I just want to talk to you about what we think the final top 4 is going to be, and who do we think is getting relegated this season. So let's start off with the top 4 from the halfway stage of the season. Who do you think is going to be top 4? So let's start from 4th, and then who you think is going to win the league.
Okay, so Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man City. Even though I still think Man City are really bad, I think they'll just about get top 4, personally. And
Fair
to win
enough.
the league, Liverpool.
Fair. I've got Liverpool winning the league. I've got Arsenal 2nd, Chelsea 3rd,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna go with Villa to finish in top 4 again. I think they have a massive chance. I think as much as Manchester City can finish in the top 4, I think with the way how things are right now, I think they're gonna find it hard to stop the rut. And I think that's the Villa could pit them to the league. But I wouldn't be surprised if Manchester City did finish 4th. But it'd be very brilliant for everybody if they finished outside the top 4 and playing Europa League football. I think it'll be absolutely hilarious from their perspective. And who do you think is getting relegated?
Southampton,
Yeah.
Ipswich. Even though I think Ipswich, I like the way Ipswich play. Fuck, who's the other team? No, I think Everton will stay up. Wolves.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting. Even after their massive win.
Yes. I still think there are a lot of internal problems with Wolves. And I think that even though I think Everton will just I don't know why. I just think Everton will stay up. I think
Oh no,
Wolves will go
I
down.
don't think Everton are going down. I think they'll stay up.
But it's hard. There were other teams off the back of my mind. But I do think even though they have Cunha, who's still got a little bit of firepower, who still
Mm,
scores them goals, I
mm.
just think Wolves are defensively not great at the moment. And I think even though they've got a new manager, I still think they struggle. I think less. I think it's between Wolves and Leicester. I'll say Wolves.
Fair.
So
I agree
that's
with
me.
you. Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester for me. I think the 3 that come up
Okay.
are the 3 that will go down. Southampton are dead food. We've seen that. I think Ipswich, the way that they play, even though they are entertaining, it's too open, and I think
Yeah.
most of the sides will get at them. And the reason why I say Leicester is because I just don't think they have enough, and they've got another inexperienced manager
Yeah.
in Ruud van
Rude.
Nistelrooy. As much as obviously I love Ruud, I don't think he was a correct appointment for them.
Yeah.
But I completely understand what you say with Wolves, but I think they'll come out the other side with this change in management, and I think they've got the players to come out of this. So that's why I think the three that came up, Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton, will be the ones to get relegated. But people, listen, that is it. Let us know. There's just a lot that we just gotten through. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think about Liverpool. Are they champions elect? How far do you think they can go? How many trophies do you think that they can win? Do you think that Chelsea will be the ones to challenge them? Could they do it with the amount of players that they've got, the form that they're in, and the fact that they've got the player advantage? Or do you think it's Arsenal challenging for the league for the last 2 seasons? Mike Owen is 15. It's fifth season. It's do or die for them. And Manchester City, when do you think the rot will stop? Do you think that they can get back into and finish in the top four? Do you think that they could still challenge for the league, or do you think it's downhill from here with the charges that we're going to find out about next year and what is going to happen to them? Also, let us know your relegation predictions. Do you agree with ST when he says Southampton, Ipswich, and Wolves? Do you agree with myself when I say it's Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester? Do you have someone else in mind that we haven't mentioned? We want to hear from you. And as usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscription, say on the time, share. We are here. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. Want to say thank you very much, as always, to my guy, ST. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, bro. Merry Christmas to everybody. You know what I mean? Enjoy your food.
People coming
chill,
up.
yeah.
Coming up. Oh, yes, people, sorry. We did promise you boxing talk. It did happen, but unfortunately, we weren't able to get it up. We were having some technical issues. So unfortunately, you didn't get that. I don't think we'll be getting a review out for you, unfortunately. But I just wanted to let you know that it did happen and we were here and we did record it. It just couldn't get put up. But obviously, you know the result. We do have that nostalgia talk coming for you. We are going to try to organize that hopefully before the new year. Obviously, into the new year, as I said, bigger and better things. We got a lot of big plans coming for you, and a lot more consistent content coming out as well. So there's a lot to look forward to between now and into the new year. But as I like to say, reiterate what ST has said, people have a very Merry Christmas. As I said, if you celebrate Christmas, enjoy the time with the fam. Don't forget, this is when Jesus Christ came into this world, even though technically it wasn't, but we're not going to get into the politics of all that. If you don't, still enjoy time with family and friends. Enjoy your time off. Eat, drink, be merry. If you don't drink, you got water, you got fruit juice. If you do drink, we got the rum punch, you got the Uncle Ray, you got all that good stuff. Enjoy your breakfast. If it's cereal, listen, just don't
enjoy your breakfast.
No, don't enjoy it. Don't enjoy it because that's foolishness, bro. Like, on Christmas Day, this is foolishness. But if you have a proper breakfast, make sure you enjoy it. Make sure you enjoy your dinners as well. ST and I, as we said in the beginning, cannot wait. We hope that you get whatever it is that you wanted as well. ST, what was on your list, bro? What was on your list for presents and that?
Bro, listen, I listen nowadays, yeah. I used to be, I want this and want that. It's just if you give me money, give me money. That's it.
You know that, bro. Times are hard. Man's got bills to pay, bro. Like, listen.
Give me money. I'm
you
good.
know what? Yeah, presents. Yeah, listen, presents. Yeah, like, listen. I don't even want, like, forget the JD or a gift card or the next gift card. Like, pay my electricity bill. Pay my electricity bill.
Bro,
Pay my water bill. That's my present. Pay
bro.
them bills, bro, because that's what we need out here.
Yeah.
Lyric,
Send me some money for the bills and that's it. Yeah.
Bro, nah, I hear it. But people, whatever you want, we hope that you get. Listen, enjoy your time. We will be back before the new year with that nostalgia talk and also reviewing the year as well. But people, stay safe, be safe, Enjoy the festive period, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.